In your project portfolio, give us maybe 2 or 3 projects that you've initiated worth 100 million and above.
Chair.
50 billion and above.
0, Chair, unless
30 billion and above.
0.
So what are you investing in?
Chair, we have a law that was passed in 2014, but, and I've heard the senators are actually in the process of developing a bill to introduce water fund.
That is anticipation of
If they can come to my county to learn.
What's the biggest project you have initiated during your tenure in terms of value?
Conditional grants, in terms of value, I have one hospital that I've done at 60 million using conditional grants, not my equitable share. My equitable share, the highest that I've done could be around buying an excavator of 22 million.
That's the biggest project.
That is the biggest project, and it may be 2 projects, maybe 2 or 3. Every other project is below 2 million.
Chair. Last week we were with Kakamega. They were demonstrating how they've set aside 5 billion for a stadium, how they've set aside 6 billion for a hospital, etc. Is the Geographically a viable?
Chair, I wanted to say, Chair, is number one is we have a bad law that was implemented, was passed and signed in 2014. I think that time the MCAs and the then governor had issues, so they decided to punish the executive by passing a law, and we've had conversations with the MCAs that we need to amend so that maybe we put 60% to the wards and then we remain with 40% at the county headquarters so that the governor can do flagship projects in each of the 4 sub-counties. But that conversation is going on. I hope the chair, Parker, the county assembly will tell us what is the status. Secondly, Chair, if you've said, even that 1 billion, the absorption rate was 3.9. But that 3.9, the 1 billion, Chair, is going to every ward. When it goes to each ward, they share the money up to 200,000 per project, 500,000. Basically, I want to report to this committee that if nothing happens, in the next 20 years, Elgeyo County will be like Kenya now, and the rest of you, because if Kakamega can set aside 5 billion, 6 billion, you will be like Singapore, but the Elgeyo County will be like Kenya. 1972, Singapore and Kenya are the same state. But now where is Singapore? They are very far. But that's why we have a conversation with some of my colleagues, including Maendeleo and Moja, that next round of review of the formula, Chair, we need to sit down as a country. Are we going to leave 12 counties to pay salaries and do nothing? Or we need to say, first, let's share the resources. Everybody gets a minimum of 6 billion or 7 billion first, so that we can pay the salaries. And then now we have at least 2, 3, 4 billion for each county to do something. Otherwise, basically, my county is going to be paying salary. We are paid to do that.
And so your flagship project so far is an excavator.
Excavator 22 million.
Which Onyoka owns privately.
And that is not the
Chair, from a bank.
In 3 years.
Chair, could I come in? Excellency Governor, your recurrent expenditure is at?
Chair, I received 4.8 billion. The county assembly takes close to 800 million. So if I remain with 4, my salaries and my salaries could be around. I have a development of 1099, almost 1.1, and then the rest goes to salaries and the current. So you can see. I only have 1 billion. This is an marginalized county before.
Just hold, Governor. I ask a question because of a particular reason. Do you have your CEC here, finance?
Yes, Chair.
Where is it? You have no one?
Yes.
So your recurrent expenditure is at about 33%?
Chair, I want to confirm that our recurrent expenditure with conditional grant.
Recurrent.
That is salary and
Everything else on recurrent is about 33%.
34%.
34%. Now, look at your absorption capacity. How much have you been absorbing from your CRF account? If you look at if you have gone through the control of budget report on your county.
Thank you, Chair. I want to maybe looking at the current financial year, that
Yes.
is the 23-24.
23-24. Have you seen what it is?
Yes.
You are absorbing at 3%.
As explained by Chair, as explained by the governor, in the first 6 months of the year, yes, there was.
I'm just asking you. I've not asked you to explain why it has happened like that. Explain to me. Your recurrent expenditure is at 33. Your absorption capacity is at 3.2, and your revenue collection at the county, how much is it?
Our revenue target for the financial year is 270 million.
Okay. Why? This is what is disturbing me. Why is your absorption capacity at 3%?
Thank you, Chair. As I actually mentioned earlier, is that in the first 6 months of the year, we were unable to absorb the development funds because supplementary budget that was running that time. So there was a delay, though later on when we close to this last 6 months of the financial year, we've been able now then to absorb the development funds.
Chair, it is the control of budget. She's there. She'll give you the report. This financial year 2023-24, you are at 3.5. In other words, money is available for the people of West Pokot, and the county executive is unable to spend this money. The county executive is able to spend the money on recurrent expenditure.
I don't think we are from West Pokot. I think
Sorry, my apologies. Yes, yes.
Very careful.
My apologies, sincerely, Senator. Thank you. I am so sorry, Governor. I meant.
Okay.
Chair, I will just finish also by saying you will be shocked that because of the small amount of money, you will see that a big county can easily allocate a huge amount in one project. In my county, everyone gets an average of 50 million. That 50 million can translate up to 70 projects. 70 projects in 50 million. So my team have to go to every small place to develop a BQ. 70 projects for a 50 million. So you will go around to develop a BQ, which is not even enough for the money. You are told you have to build some other project here. My engineers go there, they have to go several times and conflict. So
Governor,
I can confirm to you, Chair.
Let me stop you there.
Yeah.
Because in as much as we are taking time, but this is an extremely important conversation. I think I'll bring you back for you to tell us what you think is a proposed solution. Because it's not for you just to come and describe your frustrations. We want to hear that solution and how we can support you in law. But let's hear from Senator Mefu.
Maybe I would want to. I get the position of the governor, I get the position of the senator about what has happened and the man that they are pushing towards. But I see it as a practice for many county governments that for big projects, because we cannot keep funding projects in this way, 5 million, 3 million, you never do anything meaningful at the end of the hospital. You never get a 5 hospital if you are not able to do the facilities that are required. So do you have projects in your budget that are funded for maybe like 2, 3, 4, 5 years? So that you say that this year we are giving 70 million, next year we are giving, I think we got that kind of a matter in Nandi, the Senator for Nandi who should be able to confirm to us. And there was a project for 500 million, but they could not fund it from their budget. So it was a close year project. They spread it until they're able to finish. So do you have that kind of a project in the government?
Chair, it depends on the ward. What happens is, again, the same law subjects this money to like a marketplace. You go to a public hospital today, different people. Different people last year, today, someone else has gone to the market, you have a different team this time discussing the 50 million. They will not even listen to technical advice. What they will say is that this clan got 600,000 last time, it is our turn this time. Even if you have to fund a project multi, it is a dangerous thing. It is not bad to distribute the money to the wards, but I think it is even makes it impossible to cross fund. It is only done when you are doing it at the county executive, but when they are experts. But when you are going to the village, people discuss up to 200,000 shillings, up to 100,000. You can read our budget. So that is a danger that when I heard that the Senate was doing it, I told them it is better that we come and listen to the story of Elgeyo Marakwet. My senator will give you a story on how we really want to change the county, despite the small money, but the challenge is that law that was trying to, it was passed emotionally, I would say. It was to distribute money to the ward, but I think how it was done was not very good. So even to fund a project last year, it is almost impossible because this clan wants this year, next year is another clan, the other year is another clan. So it's almost impossible.
You have your county budget and economic forum in place?
Yes, it's in place now, and
what do they advise? Because it's a body that has been set up under PFM to provide advice on
they do.
On these issues.
They are already working on. Yes, they are.
Proposal that the executive has made to alter the law so that it makes it possible to consolidate and take advantage of economies of scale.
Yes, Chair. We already have a team in place, led by the CEO of Jubilee Insurance, Dr. Rotich, which is in place, and they are now continuing to review and give us expert advice. It's not going to be an easy political fight for me also, because people are used to have money. Even the NCS, if you tell them about it, everyone wants to run away, because this thing has brought money to the people. People choose what they want to do with the money, and eventually it's very popular. The people want it, like it, but again, in terms of transforming the county. But what I've done, Chair, to prove that it works, I have used the small conditional grants. For example, the KDSP money to build a big hospital in a place called Kapchero. Everyone has seen it and they're happy. I have used the money from the ELRP to build a whole agricultural training center. 30-something million hostels, training center, rooms, everything. And it's now coming up nicely. We have also done some water projects, which again are major projects. We have again done some mother and baby institutions, and even OPD in sub-county hospital. All of them are donor funded, but the community are almost accepting. Even one ward has agreed to start in the next financial year to fund the sub-county hospital, starting with 20 million. I've said now 50 million, we are putting 20, because they saw one of the best projects that I did through the conditional grant. So I'm trying also to use persuasion to the community to tell them this money will not help you until you do one thing, but it takes time to push this, because it's a 10-year-old culture that may not be easy to remove. But I request, Chair, if Senate can give, I would not have a problem if Senate says 60% to ward, 40 to, or the other way around. 40 to ward, 60% at county executive, and we are even given a way to maybe a law which says you rotate, so that I'm not a governor who can favor one place. You can say on rotation basis. If I do one project on this ward, I will not repeat it the next time. It goes to the next ward. We do it on rotation basis, so that...
Governor, what we expect of you, Nairobi City County government came before us, and we demanded an explanation why they are not operationalized the Nairobi City Disaster Management Act. The governor was able to give us a memorandum drafted for consideration by the County Executive Committee, making proposals on how the law should be amended to make it practical. That is what we expect from you. Not lamentation, not stories. You do not have an annual recruitment plan or human capital plan. You didn't have it at the time of audit. Do you have it now? Governor, do you have You have the plan.
Chair, the County Public Service Board, I think this was in the financial year under review, Chair, where the County Public Service Board upon our request to the 27 employees across 5 departments, according to our staff establishment that we have. We currently have a staff establishment. We also approved establishment and interns for the following 5 departments. You can see the Public Service Management at 6.1, Education at 6 Roman 2, Agriculture at 6 Roman 3, Livestock at 6 Roman 4, and Health at 6 Roman 5.
Does that address the question of an annual recruitment plan or human capital plan as required under regulation?
Yes, Chair, we use the establishment, and depending on the availability of funds, even if you have a lot of that plan, we usually have, currently we don't use it.
Is the staff establishment the same as an annual recruitment plan? No.
We only replace exits, and that's how we do, Chair. We plan
Will
succession.
you show us your annual recruitment plan here? If there are next years that you have talked about? Because there are 2 arms to that question. There are the 27 members of staff, which you have attempted to address. But at a broader policy and compliance level, the Auditor General says you do not have an annual recruitment plan, which is contrary to regulation.
Chair, we usually go as to our staff establishment, but we are well guided. We should be.
Is your county secretary here?
No, Chair. We have
the head of HR here? You're the CC for public service. CC, what is your understanding of this query, and what do you think is expected of you?
Thank you, Chair. As the governor says, we are well guided. There's a difference between annual recruitment plan and also the staff establishment. The County Public Service Board has been receiving requests for replacement from departments, which I think was an oversight of actually not having the annual recruitment plan, because as it is in Elgeyo Marakwet, we've only been doing a replacement of staff. We've not, due to the wage bill issues, we've not had new recruitment. We only replace staff who have exited, and that has been assumed to be the recruitment plan, that when a staff is exiting, we know they're exiting in this month, and therefore planning is done. And
so a lack of a plan cannot be being a plan.
Well guided, Chair.
So what do you think is expected of you?
To have the annual recruitment plan, and also departments to be submitting the same through the department to the County Public Service Board.
Yeah, because this from an HR perspective would be similar to a procurement plan in a procurement perspective. So you start the year knowing that either we are going to procure or we are not going to procure, but you put it in writing. So what timelines should we expect this to be put in place, Governor?
Chair, less than a month.
Senator,
Maybe before I think the governor lost me at some point when you say that your recruitment is based on replacement. Most of the recruitment that you do is on
because of budget. I can't even touch the monies that go towards people fine. So there is no other money.
There's no way you can employ DCD teachers.
I can't. Even to confirm is a problem.
Yeah, can I ask a clarification so that the governor can make us comfortable? Governor, with the challenges of staffing, do you have capacity issues with the Department of Procurement? Because this is the first time in my 6-7 years in public accounts encountering the issue of tender. It's rare to encounter. We normally encounter at the tail end. What could be the issue? Is it capacity issues? Is it, are you having challenges in the department?
Chair, I would want to say that we are currently, procurement has gone through a lot of transformation since the beginning of evolution. And I can tell you now we are at a better space as a county to handle even as big as World Bank programs and as big programs. So currently we are okay, but we do continuous trainings of technical department staff across, and we are even in a process of starting another round of trainings across the beginning of the financial year. So we keep updating them with information so that they can be able to be efficient as possible.
And finally, through the chair, who are these officers who are violating the law? Are they still within the county? Can you name them and give us the administrative action that you have taken against them? Because they know the law. By the time you work in this department, we saw in another county chair where a professional opinion was issued before the conclusion of the evaluation report, which is contrary, and that officer, you referred him to CPAC. And I want to know if those officers are members of CPAC so that we can write to CPAC as you give us administrative action, and we also order for professional misconduct. Because if you are a professional and you are a lawyer and you eat the client's money, which we rarely do, you are taken to LSK. You know, farmers will not understand like Senator Metu, but we will bring them up to speed.
Okay, let's bring this back before we get a response.
Same officers, Chair.
We get the citation on of the law.
Chair, this is what section 46 provides. That an accounting officer shall ensure that an ad hoc evaluation committee is established in accordance with this act and regulations made therein and from within the members of staff with the relevant expertise. 2.
So the key word there is ad hoc?
Yes. 2. In establishing the ad hoc evaluation committee referred to in subsection 1 above, the procuring entity, that is a state department or a county department, shall do so in consultation with the cabinet secretary or the county executive committee member responsible for that entity, as the case may be. 3. Despite subsection 1, where technical expertise is required from outside the organization, such expertise may be obtained from other procuring entities or procured to join the committee on recommendation in writing by head of the procuring function, and the committee shall be appointed by the accounting officer in writing. 4. An evaluation committee established under subsection 1 shall A. Deal with the technical and financial aspects of our procurement as well as the negotiation of the process, including evaluation of bids, proposals for prequalification, registration lists, expression of interest, and any other roles assigned to it. B. Consists of between 3 and 5 members appointed on a rotational basis, comprising heads of user department and 2 other departments of their representatives, and where necessary, procured consultants or professionals who shall advise on the evaluation of the tender documents and give a recommendation of the same to the committee within a reasonable time. C. As its secretary, the person in charge of the procurement function or an officer from the procurement function appointed in writing by the head of the procurement function. D. Complete the procurement process for which it was appointed, and no new committee shall be appointed on the same issue unless the one handling the issue has been procedurally disbanded. E. Adopt a process that shall ensure the evaluation process utilized adheres to Articles 201B and 227(1) of the Constitution. And 5. For greater certainty, a procuring entity shall, where a member of an ad hoc evaluation committee contravenes any provision of this act, institute disciplinary measures in accordance with the procuring entity's disciplinary measures and the provision of this act. 6 was deleted by number 32 of 2022. 7. Subject to this act, an evaluation committee may invite external technical experts who are not employees of the organization to assist in matters that need specific technical expertise. And lastly, 8, notwithstanding the provisions of this section, the Cabinet Secretary may prescribe other procedures for evaluating low-value procurements below specified threshold.
Thank you. Auditor General, is it still your position that the law was breached?
Yes, Chair. And at the time of the audit, let me go issue by issue. There were names that were appearing across several monuments, and we wondered how. Later, how this evaluation committee has been appointed, there's a consultative process being started. Before they are actually appointed, it should have been appointed. This is where the issue was. But we were shown documents where how they were proposed and then appointed. So
when you say they were evaluated by the same officers, because this is the report, are you the one who did it? You are the one who was on the ground. Yeah. So if when you raise that kind of observation, it's not good to vacate it. Unless we are saying that the person who did the legwork did not ask the right questions. Right? Because we know this is how procurement tendering is done. And it starts with the evaluation committee, the opening committee, evaluation committee. And we've seen cases where in counties, then always be that one person who's in all the evaluation committees. And we have even seen cases where the boss's driver sits in those evaluation committees because it's alcohol. So when I see this kind of things, it's indicative of certain weaknesses. So I think members, let's we look at the evidence before us. Even though the OAG says that it's satisfied, I think it will be for us as a Senate to make a determination on its regularity.
So, Chair, does it mean my questions fall by the SWOT?
Let the governor attempt to answer, and the governor try to be very brief. Sometimes giving too much information.
Chair, I will not say much. What happens is that the auditor is querying why some people are actually evaluating. The county, like Buana Miaka County, you don't have the luxury of hiring 50, 20, 40 engineers. If you go to the Department of Roads, we may have only 4 engineers. So what happens is that it will be circulating between those 4 engineers because you cannot bring an outsider just in the name of rotating. We'll have to use the same guys, but we rotate the 4 of them. So that may actually look like you are using the same person, but we have zero choice in terms of the numbers of engineers that we have, especially on technical matters. You may find that we might be having 1 architect. Actually, in our county, we have 2 architects only. The quantity surveyors are also few, and the engineers are few. So you will see their names recurring, and I think that is what the auditor was querying, and we have responded accordingly that they were duly appointed officially, and you can see that from the annexes, Chair.
Members, let's proceed.
So what does there was a legal person, so what is the implication, auditor? You have listened to the argument of the governor that since they don't have luxury of excess tax, what becomes of it? The law is very precise. What would you advise? Because you might encounter in the next financial year his argument and say because of the challenges of budgetary allocation and what have you, what is the way out? What would be your advice?
Yes, once the law has not been followed the way you understand it, it seems to be reformed. But having been read, the way it has been read, there's a small window where they can go professionals outside to assist.
But they are saying they don't have money.
Yeah, so honorable members, we go back to the spirit of that law, not just the letter, to the spirit, because the spirit is to avoid collusion and to ensure that there's fairness in those procurement.
Maybe, Chair, that will mean that we might need to thoroughly think as a committee.
Yes.
This argument is that even if the OAG says you can get outside professionals, but who will take care of the cost? So we need to look at the detail.
Also, Chair, the EMC system currently as it is cannot allow an outsider to be introduced in the system.
Chair, maybe Governor, you said you have the asset register. Is it complete?
On our own, yes.
Reflect everything about your management.
Yes, Chair. And Director of Procurement is here, who handles the asset register. I can give him even 2 weeks off.
Number 2, have you done valuation road?
No, Chair. We still use the old one.
How old is that one?
We inherited from the local authority, and our biggest issue has been budget to but we intend to look for resources to actually do an evaluation road.
But maybe, Chair, what the governor says that you intend, and since you came there, you've been expressing frustrations on budget. What is the intent? I mean, you don't intend to we have put 1 million this year so that we can do another 500 next year, or we have. So what is the intent?
I can honestly admit that I have a challenge. All the competing interests between confirming an ECD teacher and buying medical drugs and evaluation road
But Chair,
will not take
but Governor, the issue of valuation road is very critical.
It is.
Because if you do not know the value that you have, it is even hard for you to also raise your own funds. So have you allocated some resources in the budgetary line, maybe 2 million, 1 million? How much do you need this valuation road to be done and complete?
Chair, what we have done before we do a valuation road, we have actually started by setting up a GIS map. We wanted to
So
do
you are
it.
done with money?
We are done with GIS map now. We are in the process of mapping everything. We have not. It's not like we have not started anything. We have started, and we now have a GIS map. We wanted to digitize everything, and we now have a system for revenue collection digitized. So the only challenge now is to do the actual valuation road, which we are hopeful that we can get funding probably in the subsequent financial year, so that we can be able to fix
So
it.
Governor,
But we have admit that it's an important.
so Governor, as of today, there is no valuation road because of budgetary constraints.
We use the other one, yes.